good, everybody? It's Hamza, and today, guys, I'm coming to you with a brand new video. But before we get into that, guys, please go ahead and leave a like on this video, guys. Let's try and get 3 likes on this video. I know it's a lot, but I know we can do it. And of course, subscribe if you have not already. And while you're hitting the subscription button, make sure you go ahead and hit the notification bell as well. Enter all the links down below, guys. I have a bunch of things. I have Instagram, my Discord, things of that nature. But without further ado, guys, let's get right into the video. Alright, guys, so I'm sure you saw from the title of my video, it's going to be the best cards to look out for YCS Dortmund. Now, it's really important because a ban list just hit. We're kind of in this weird lull of a format where we don't know what to play, so a lot of people are anticipating it. So I decided to release some tips that you guys should look out for. So these are going to be the cards that you guys should be looking out for. Of course, you guys can see right here, the first card we are going to be talking about is Fantastical Dragon Phantazmay. Now, Phantazmay is a very niche card. He's always in and out of formats, but you never know why. Usually, when a link deck is really good, Phantazmay comes in because he has some really good effects. So his first effect, you guys can see on the screen, if your opponent special summons a link monster, you can special summon this card from your hand and then draw cards equal to the number of link monster your opponent controls plus 1. So if they link summon 1 link monster, you draw 2 cards. This says plus 1, so even if for some reason you go Phantazmay chain link 1 to the link monster, they go like enemy controller tribute to take a monster, Phantazmay will still draw 1, and then he doesn't need to shuffle because he says shuffle cards from your hand into the deck equal to the number of link monsters they control, so upon resolution they have none, so you just get a free draw 1. It's pretty good. And then when your opponent activates a card or effect that targets a monster you control, discard 1 card, negate the activation, and if you do, destroy it. So not only is he a hand trap that lets you get into more hand traps, he also enables a negation, and that's really important. But one thing to note as well, guys, is with Nibiru sort of rising into the format, if you go Phantazmay Nib, so chainlink 1 Phantazmay, chainlink 2 Nib, Nib will tribute all the monsters on the board, you'll summon Phantazmay, and you'll draw 1. The reason for that is it's equal to the amount of, I don't know why I pointed at my screen, it's equal to the number of link monsters your opponent controls plus 1. Since they control no, it's always going to be plus 1, and then shuffle cards equal to the number of they control afterwards. Since they control none, you just end up drawing 1 card. So Phantazmay Nib's a really powerful combo, but this is the reason why I was saying Phantazmay is really good. When you're playing against Unchained, and you have kind of things to deal with, like for example Unchained Souls of Rage, when they link summon onto the Rage, you can drop Phantazmay there and you can draw. The reason for that is Rage says you can target 1 face-up special summon monster your opponent controls. Immediately after this effect resolves, link summon, yada yada yada. I'm sure you guys know about it, but Phantazmay is a direct counter to that because Phantazmay says when he's targeted, you can discard a card, negate the activation, and if you do, destroy it. Meaning that although Rage does have the effect where he can float, it doesn't really matter because we're negating his interruption. On top of that as well, we can go ahead and go into Fantastical Dragon Phantazmay, enter the battle phase and like swing over the Rage. They probably don't have Caesar on the board, or we can even trigger it to Yama as well, so they still can't deal with our cards and things of that nature. So we can go ahead and drop Phantazmay. Phantazmay enter battle phase, attack over the Rage. Now they have to kind of choose what they want to do, like will Phantazmay negate. On top of that, he also looks like Thanos as well. And then yeah, he doesn't really have an interaction to Yama, but you can technically use Yama to summon him earlier onto the field. And then like I was saying as well, against other combo decks like Soul decks, Mana Dome decks, things of that nature, Phantazmay gets infinite value because he's just going to be constantly drawing into bigger board breakers, similar into our Striker Dragon as well. So Phantazmay is the first card I'm going to be talking about, and I think that you guys should either be side decking it or be really wary of the card. If you can play around it, please go ahead and play around it. He's a dark level 7 as well. He's a dragon, so again, he works really well in the Striker Dragon. But moving on to the next card, guys, we are going to be talking about, it is going to be DD Crow. The reason why I'm talking about DD Crow specifically is I'm not sure if you guys saw, so Pack and Jesse Cotton recently showed their combos, and they leaked the sauce, and basically it was like, okay, this is the play you do to play around Bestials, play around Nib, things of that nature. Bestials, although they absolutely crack the deck and the board, it doesn't really matter because when they're setting up their play and they don't have a dark monster in the graveyard, your Bestial is dead. But DD Crow isn't dead. There are a lot of reasons why you should play DD Crow. So one of the main reasons is against Pure Lily. So Pure Lily, you guys are probably like, man, like why would I play DD Crow against Pure Lily? So Pure Lily has the secondary effect where it says you can target 1 Pure Lily quick play spell in your graveyard, special 1 XYZ monster that mentioned this card by using this card you control material, and attach that spell. So what DD Crow does is you chain DD Crow to the target, and then it basically blanks the card. So now this card is just a vanilla on the board. So it's really good in that regard, especially if you don't have enough cards to side for purely. DD Crow has like that little flex spot where it covers multiple things, and then also, like I said before, if they don't do the play where they play into Bestials, you're screwed, right? If they do the play where they play around it, you're screwed because now your Bestial is dead. However, if you use DD Crow on Unchained Soul of Shayama, Unchained Soul of Shyam. I don't know why it throws me off so much, but if you use it on there and you can target, basically when it goes to reborn or whatever, you can crow this card, do and play one of the copy. This is a main reason on how they kind of constantly do their resource loop, things of that nature. So it's really important to kind of hit this card, and it prevents the deck from getting the additional 6 on board. It prevents them for additional recursion as well, right? So they lose a lot of value when you DD crow their Shyama. So it's another important card, which I think much like Fantastical. And then another thing you can do is you can also just hit the Yama in the graveyard. This is kind of the play that they're playing around, though. They're not leaving the Yama in the graveyard, so that's just one thing to note. But if the Yama is in graveyard and you aren't worried about the Shyama in the graveyard, you can definitely DD crow it. And then another application is going to be with Rhinoheart. So not Rhinoheart in general, but just like the Chair Element cards in general. The reason for that is the Chair Element cards are going to be gaining popularity, severe popularity actually, because one, it's a fan favorite deck, right? It's a tier 0 deck, and tier 0 decks are really good because regardless of the pilot, it'll always do well. And a lot of people have a soft spot for Chair Element because a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh players had most of their tops or success playing Chair Element, so they're going to try and go back into it, especially without the walking talking D-shifter. So with Chair Element into the format, DD Crow will also check that as well. So think about this, right? You're checking Purely, which is a really good deck. You're checking Unchained, which is a really good deck, and you have application for Chair Element, which is a very spooky deck in that regard. So you know what I mean? So DD Crow Fantastical, like I said, is really good. DD Crow is also good against like the random Striker Dragon, it's not Striker Dragon, but Dragon Link, you know what I mean? So there is that. But again, DD Crow is the other card that I'm talking about. You guys should definitely be watching out for it. Best application, like I said before, hit the Pure Lily effect in the graveyard, hit the Shyama, because they will never have like the Yama if they're playing around it. So Crowbo is better than Bishos in my personal opinion, but again, hopefully you guys can heed my words and whatever. But the next card is going to be Droll and Lockbird. Now Droll fell out of meta when people were kind of on like the other Unchained decks, and people are like, oh yeah, why would I play Droll? Now in my opinion, Droll is going to be up because people are thinking that they can play card decks like a Soul Dot deck, so Infernoble, shout out me, Manordome, Purely is another deck that can search, right? Flunder, like all these decks can go ahead and play, like Dark World, all of these decks can play if Droll isn't in the meta. So siding Droll or main Droll is going to be pretty good. My opinion, I think you should side it, of course. You just want to be ready, right? Because Droll goes crazy. At my last locals, I was side decking Droll, and Droll went absolutely crazy for me. So hopefully it goes crazy for you guys. One thing to note against Flunder though is you don't really Droll on like the resolution of the effect, because like the cards are weird. The little baby birds, like when this card's normal summon, add after this effect resolves, immediately normal summon. So what's it gonna do is you're gonna go normal summon Rabina, Chainlink 1, add Eaglin, then you go normal summon Eaglin, Chainlink 1, Droll Chainlink 2. It has to be Droll in response to the Eaglin effect because Rabina's effect is still attempting to resolve. So it's a little weird, but in my opinion, I think you should definitely be on Droll and Lockbird in the side deck for sure. Main is like a little iffy. I don't know if I would main it just because like Unchained is going around, but if you do roll into Purely, Flunder, things of that nature, it's pretty good. So that's another thing to kind of keep into the back of your mind. Also, on the topic of Flunder, it's one of the only decks that can play cards like Dark Ruler no more, because like they just negate your board and then kind of like start tributing, poking into it. They also play cards like Winged Dragon Raw Sphere Mode, other board breakers, and things of that nature, right? So it's important to kind of know what you want to play around and kind of like figure it out, right? So again, like I was saying, guys, you want to play around Fantastical or know about Fantastical, want to know about whatever this card's called, DD Crow, and then Droll and Lockbird as well. And then moving on, guys, to another card that you guys should definitely be very wary of. It's going to be Abyss Dweller. So I know you guys can be like, oh, Abyss Dweller, like why is he telling me to watch out for it? Of course I can. No, you don't get it, because now that there are no more Arise Heart, no more D-Shift, because like I said before, and a lot of pro players have said as well, other content creators, Arise Heart was forcing a format within a format because how good he was, right? Now that Arise Heart's no longer there, there's going to be a lot of graveyard decks like Chair Element. Like you can play Burning Abyss, you can play any of these decks like Mathmech, things of that nature. You can play any graveyard deck, so Abyss Dweller is going to be crazy. Just one thing to look out for, right? Because Dweller is so powerful in the metagame, people are going to be trying it to stopping Unchained, things of that nature. So if you are an Unchained Duelist, you're going to have to watch out for Abyss Dweller. How do you watch out for Abyss Dweller, you ask me? Oh, I got you. Forbidden Droplet. Now, Unchained doesn't really want to use Forbidden Droplet because they want 2 to 3 card combos, so they don't want to discard it. But sending Shavara, I know it's pretty nice, but trust me, Forbidden Droplet's really good. It also outs like Empin, outs annoying cards like that, so just keep that back in mind. But if you cannot play Forbidden Droplet for whatever reason, like let's just say, for example, you can't afford to discard cards, you're playing a combo card, decks are, you don't have a lot of graveyard interaction, you can go ahead and play Forbidden Chalice. Now, Forbidden Chalice can definitely be back into the metagame as well, because Abyss Dweller, cards like that you're kind of wait for and then you fire off and just stop your opponent from playing the game. Forbidden Chalice is really good, has multiple applications as well. Like for example, you can negate the Caesar. I wish it did something against the purely deck. Honestly, it doesn't do anything because it just like rank up. So like, what are you gonna do anyways? So that's why like the books might be into it. But these are just cards that I think that are non-conventional or just weren't as popular in the metagame. And then a final card that I would suggest to look out for is Bagooska. Of course, Bagooska can definitely be back in the metagame as well, especially with decks like Flunder when they shifter you. Bagooska helps deal with a lot of problematic decks as well. So again, just like watch out for Bagooska, watch out for Dweller. If you're afraid of these two cards and you think you're gonna lose, check if your deck can play Forbidden Droplet. If not, check if your deck can play Forbidden Chalice. At least Book of Moon deals with Bagooska but not Dweller, right? So you're gonna have to find a way to deal with these type of cards in your current metagame. So again, we're just gonna do a quick summary right now, guys. So I said watch out for Fantastical because it can deal with Unchained Soul of Rage. It can also summon Onyama. It can also deal with Isolde, Striker Dragon, those type of things. So Fantastical was one of them. We're also gonna be talking about DD Crow. DD Crow, again, you can use the application onto Pure Lily when she targets the spell card in the graveyard. You can also use it onto Shayama. You can also hit Yama in the graveyard as well with DD Crow, and then as well as you can also hit tier element cards and things of that nature. Now Droll and Lockbird in the very similar thing where it's kind of niche. So you can hit Flunder, of course, on the resolution of the effect, so it hurts them really badly against other Isolde combo decks. Manadome, Dragon Link is also good as well. So there's Flunder, and then of course watch out just for Flunder in general. Like this card's crazy. A meta deck that can play D shifters like nasty. Again, shifter should have been banned. And then we also have to watch out for Dark Ruler because Flunder can play this similar to Winged Dragon Raw of Sphere Mode. Winged Dragon Raw of Sphere Mode. So try and play around it. Again, you want to make sure you are prepared for Abyss Dweller and Bagooska by playing cards like Forbidden Droplet and Forbidden Chalice. Now Droplet's not that bad against Unchained as well because like you can negate the Rage and the Caesar, but just, you know, I mean, like you just, I'm not saying play these cards, I'm just saying watch out for these cards, right? So again, Fantastical, DD Crow, I believe it's Droll and Lockbird, what do you call it, Abyss Dweller and Bagooska, and then the Forbidden cards. But that's it for my video, guys. Hopefully guys you guys enjoyed it, and if you guys did, please go and leave a like. So guys, that was it for the video. If you guys liked the video, please go and leave a like on the video. Of course, comment what you guys want to see next. I try my best to respond to each and every single one of your guys' comments. Subscribe if you have not already and you made it to the end of the video, because what are you doing? And without further ado, guys, my name is Hamza, and like I always say, keep on shining, never go on your dreams. Peace.